Well, I'm going to pour concrete out here in front of my garage, and it'll have a little sidewalk that goes around to the man door on the other side. I'm going to jump on the tractor and go ahead and get all this gravel out of here, pull it into the driveway so we don't waste it, and we'll start getting the dirt out so we can get up the forms and get ready to pour concrete. This was really close to done when I started. It just needed some really light grooming. So to get started on the sidewalk, I've quickly laid out roughly I want the sidewalk to be. Well, I'm kind of done dinking around. I went in the shop there and started screwing around with the power tools I have in the shop to build these forms. And the reality is, on a concrete form up, especially something as simple as this can all be done with some duplex nails, a skill saw, and some stakes and some 2x4s. I mean, this isn't anything that you need to have a shop to go do. So I don't want to misconstrue the reality of doing concrete forms. To start off with, we're just going to pull some straight lines off the side of my shop. This really doesn't require anything fancy. Do yourself a favor, pound your stakes in a way that you can get to the nail holes. So now I've got a board that holds my string up against my foundation. Start pulling it tight. I'm looking right down that line, see it touching, so we know we're good right here. So with the line set, we can go ahead and put our first form board in. So we're only going to put 2 stakes in this board just to get it up in place. We'll level it out and add a bunch more stabilizer stakes after the fact. Well, at this point, we need to go do the same thing on the other side. All right, that one's in, it's up off the ground. We're gonna mark out the 16 feet out on that side, and then we'll start putting on the board that connects the 2 across the front. Don't overthink concrete forming. I have a tendency to do that to most every project I work on. The reality is, as long as it builds the negative form, it doesn't matter what the formwork looks like. If you do this all the time or for a living, obviously your formwork is gonna look a lot better than what mine looks like. I don't do this very often, but anybody can do this. 2x4s, concrete stakes, you can buy wooden stakes and do it with, you don't need concrete stakes. It's pretty straightforward. You can even do this with the standard level. You don't even need a laser level to make this all work right. You could do it with a 4-foot level if you really had to. So don't think that this is impossible for the average person, because it's not. I'm going to go ahead and start leveling things up. So we're going to start by setting a benchmark for the back stake with the level. Then we'll be able to go down 3/4 inch increments as we move out towards the end. We need to go ahead and move this up 3/4 of an inch, which will increase this distance. We'll be able to start setting the fall, so get the slope correct away from the garage. Go to our first stake and see where we're at. So it looks like we need to come up about an inch, which is a little more tricky in this specific case because I'm out of metal stakes. Well, I ran down and picked up more stakes, which will make this a little easier because unfortunately, like I said, I have to lift this form up versus go down. And that's a lot easier when you have a few extra stakes. So we'll drive a stake in the ground here next to the one that's already nailed. Get back on there. All right, it's absolutely perfect right there. So I'll drive a nail in there and we'll move on to the next one. So now we do the same thing. We bring the level over here.
Don't the stakes have to be below that 2x4 level so we can run a sweep board on it?
We just go around it.
Okay.
We'll move this up, see where we're at. We got to come up about 1/4 inch. So we put another stake in the ground. Square back a little bit. We will. So each time I'm basically raising this up 1 inch, which gives me my slope away that we need. So we loosen it and we go up to 9 at that point. So we started at 6, which was back there. We went up 1 inch, up 2 inches, now we're up 3 inches. So we have 3 inches of slope away from the garage down here to the end. Alright, so that's how the whole putting up form boards for flat work works. These are just 2x4s. We set the benchmark, we work our way out to get the proper slope so the water runs away from the garage, and you set your front edge so it's nice and level. Once everything's all leveled up, you go back through and put extra stakes in, or I do, so that you don't have any issues when the concrete's poured. So we're forming the sidewalk. The sidewalk is 4 feet wide. The outside bend and the inside bend should start and stop in the same exact place. So this board over here is 22. My dad is getting another board 22 long, which will go right here. This one is 44, so I put a white mark on the ground right here. That's 44 inches from the end of the concrete. Can you lift up on that board?
Yeah.
Keep going. Right there. Okay. Okay. So we finished up putting the forms in, everything's leveled up the way we want it, we've got all the proper slopes, so now it's time to put the rebar up. So I don't pour concrete every day. I do this enough that I have a general idea what I've got going on. I'm trying to really just show you that any average person that has a little bit of skill and a little bit of willingness can make this happen. I'm gonna put a board down the center of my concrete, and that is a screed board or a float board. Now, professionals don't do this. I do it this way. I recommend, if you don't do concrete a lot, that you do it this way. I found this to be the most effective way to get it right for the average person that doesn't do concrete a lot. See, we've got the little sidewalk area all formed up. Over here in this section, I ended up drilling those 2 pieces of rebar into the existing slab. That was because over time, I don't want this new concrete to settle differently than the existing concrete and become uneven. I'm not doing that in front of the garage because this new concrete slab will be on top of the concrete footer. I'm not a professional concrete worker. This is just an average DIYer doing this, which is what this board is all about. The screed board down the middle is not something professionals use, but they do concrete every day. I don't. So this board makes my life way easy. So check out that upcoming video of the actual pour. Will be in a couple of days based on the weather. I hope you guys definitely got a lot out of this one. Everything that I show you in this video will get you to where you need to get and save you a heck of a lot of money by doing it yourself. So I really hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, thanks for watching.